Well, there's been a lot more responsibility because people look up to us everywhere, and they look up to us for opposition and for leadership, for setting the agenda in a sense. So that is demanding, but at the same time, it's a huge opportunity because all the things that we have been talking about, say basic issues of people, we have a real opportunity of uniting people over those issues like livelihood, employment, education, agriculture, all those basic questions that we've always raised. We now actually have we now have a real opportunity to raise those questions and make them issues for 2019, so that 2019 elections are not fought for Ram Mandir and stuff, but they're actually fought on real issues. At some level you do get affected. Some you just ignore, but then there are attacks which are not just, from social media trolls, but which are from, say, mainstream publications. So those are difficult. When a mainstream media house or a mainstream newspaper is targeting you, they're running news articles against you, they're running cartoon strips against you or your movement. That is a little difficult because it's not the same thing as internet trolls. So every now and then you will see Republic TV or Times Now running hate propaganda against Jignesh or Umar. We saw Times of India ran a cartoon strip, demonizing the JNU movement. So things like these are actually, they are much more serious than online trolls. So this kind of hate propaganda needs, it needs a different approach. We take it too lightly, but this is very serious. Yes, of course. This is a moment of churning as much as it is a moment of disappointment. People are being killed just for their beliefs. It's also a moment for great hope because unlikely voices are coming up. We see here this Prakash Raj, we've always known him just as an actor, but now he's speaking up. There are many more people. There are Supreme Court judges who are speaking up, of all people. This is unprecedented, not just in the history of India, but unprecedented in history itself, that Supreme Court judges speak up. They hold a press conference. So opposition now is not limited to a few university students, everyone is speaking up. So in that sense, there's a moment of hope, but it remains to be seen what we make of it. So there isn't much positive news from the CBI which is handling the case right now. And we have held several demonstrations, etc., but we haven't heard anything, not a single clue. Now, this is what makes one suspicious that in a real investigation, you would have some leads. They may be false leads. You would have some clues. They may not lead anywhere in the end, but you would have something. But in this case, we've heard nothing, So people who abducted him, people who made him disappear, they are being protected by the state, they are being protected by the government. You don't hear a word. You don't hear a clue from anywhere. Today we are here, we are remembering Gauri Lankesh, but almost everyone agrees that remembering Gauri Lankesh cannot be limited to just, a ceremonial birth anniversary celebration. No, today we come together again and we resolve to fight fascism that took her life. These groups that have spread terror in this entire region. They've been killing rationalists. They've been killing people fighting against superstition, against caste. We know which organizations these are. These are organizations like the Sanatan Sanstha. These are organizations like the RSS, and they've been creating terror in this whole region. So I think that there's a very urgent challenge to rise up against these organizations. And, the biggest challenge is to force the government to act. Because these organizations, they have the protection of the government, clearly. So that is the biggest challenge. And unless we force the government, unless we force the parties to, take a stance against the impunity that is being granted to these organizations, I think it's going to be very difficult to challenge them. I mean, triple talaq bill we have to separate from the triple talaq judgment. So the triple talaq judgment, the Supreme Court, when it said that, when it declared triple talaq void, that is a success. That is a success for Muslim women who fought their own fight, and it is not to anyone else's credit, but to the credit of those Muslim women who were fighting. But we have to separate this from the triple talaq bill, which is these Muslim women, they fought, they won, it's over. But now Modi government, because it wants to take credit of the whole thing, because it wants to now score points over the whole thing, it's now going one step further and bringing in this ridiculous bill, which won't stand a constitutional challenge. I mean, it won't stand a constitutional challenge even for seconds. You can't put people in jail for saying divorce. So we see ourselves as already in politics, in one way or the other. I mean, we are political, and I guess right now is a moment when everyone has to be political, whether they are acting in movies, or whether they are school teachers, or whether they are students, whoever it is, they have to speak up. Everyone needs to be political. Now, different people may, take up politics in different ways. Some may just render their voice, other people may contest elections, some people may continue activism, but whatever one's interest is, I mean, being apolitical won't be justified at this moment. So no one has the luxury to say that, oh, we are apolitical, or we don't care, or we don't engage in politics. I don't think we have that luxury anymore.